The World Cup is just days away. As you know, the tournament is being played with 48 teams this year, but do you know which continent has the most opportunities in this new system? A total of 9 teams from Asia and Oceania will be showcasing their talent in the United States, Canada, and Mexico this summer. And in the third video of our series, you will fully understand how these teams earn their World Cup tickets, who they are, and why they are so important in influencing the fate of the tournament. Let's see how many of these 9 countries you will recognize, because some of these teams are making their first appearance in history, while others are surprisingly strong. If you have subscribed to the channel and liked the video, let's begin. Let's start with the Oceania continent, because explaining their qualifying system is simpler. The Oceania Football Confederation (OFC) was allocated only one full ticket to this World Cup. That means only one team from the entire continent earned the right to directly compete on the world stage. And nobody could easily take this right away from New Zealand. In the first stage of the qualifying process, for Oceania, teams competed fiercely in a tournament format, and the winners qualified for the second round. In the second round, 8 teams were divided into 2 groups of 4. Then a tournament tree was created again. The country that won the final match went directly to the World Cup, while the loser would try their luck in the continental playoff. New Zealand completed these qualifiers very easily, as if they were on vacation. In the group stage, they beat Tahiti 3-0, Vanuatu 8-1, and Samoa 8-0 with overwhelming scores. Proving how worthy they were of the World Cup, they scored 19 goals in 3 matches while conceding only 1 goal. Before the final, they faced Fiji in the semi-final, but before the fans could even understand what was happening, the match ended with a 7-0 victory for New Zealand. In the final played at Eden Park in Auckland, they beat their opponent 3-0 and secured their World Cup ticket. Moreover, all these successes were achieved despite captain Chris Wood, who is talented enough to carry the team, being injured. And this victory took New Zealand to the World Cup after 16 years. But we haven't gotten to the truly shocking part yet. While New Zealand easily secured their ticket, Asia turned into a complete battlefield. The Asian Football Confederation (AFC) established a massive 5-round qualifying system this time. Understanding this system requires some patience, so please don't leave the video. But once you understand it, you will see how complex the situation is. In the first round, the 20 Asian countries at the bottom of the FIFA rankings faced each other in a 2-legged knockout system. As a result of these matches, 10 teams were eliminated from the qualifiers and 10 teams advanced to the second round. In the second round, 26 more teams from the top ranks were added to these 10 winning teams, and a total of 36 teams were divided into 9 groups of 4. Each group played a total of 6 matches, home and away. The top 2 teams from each of these 9 groups, a total of 18 teams, qualified for the third round. In the third round, these 18 teams were divided into 3 groups of 6, and the top 2 teams from each group earned their tickets to the World Cup. The 6 teams that finished 3rd and 4th in their groups advanced to the 4th round, the final battle for a World Cup spot. In the 4th round, these 6 teams were divided into 2 groups of 3, and the matches were played on neutral grounds in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Group leaders at this stage went directly to the World Cup, while the runners-up advanced to the 5th and final round. Oh, I'm really tired of this. I'm exhausted just explaining it, but be patient. It's almost over. Team reviews are starting. In the 5th round, 2 teams played 2 matches against each other, and the winner qualified for the Intercontinental Playoffs. And the only team to qualify for the tournament after going through this chaotic path was Iraq, but we'll cover their story in its own section. Now that we understand this complex picture, let's look at the teams that went through these processes and secured their World Cup tickets one by one. Our first team is Japan, which dominated its group in these Asian qualifiers. Japan was in the same group as Syria, Myanmar, and North Korea in the second round and won all 6 matches very comfortably. In the third round in Group C, they had 7 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in 10 matches, and although they struggled slightly compared to their first group, They finished this group as leaders with 23 points. They scored a total of 30 goals throughout the qualifiers and conceded only 3 goals. They beat China 7-0, Bahrain 5-0, and returned from their away match against Saudi Arabia with a 2-0 victory. With these statistics, they became the first team to mathematically guarantee their participation in the World Cup in March 2025. In the last week, they defeated Indonesia 6-0 in Osaka, both crowning their leadership and achieving their 8th consecutive World Cup qualification. Japan will face European giants like the Netherlands and Sweden in Group F this summer. Let's see if they can show these successes there as well. And this is where things get very interesting, because the next team, Uzbekistan, was a surprise that very few people in the football world expected. This team from Central Asia faced Iran in the same group in both the second and third rounds. So they didn't have to beat Iran in the third round, but still, dealing with the same group was a serious test. In the third round, in Group A, they had 6 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss in 10 matches, finishing second in the group with 21 points, right behind Iran. Uzbekistan, who secured their ticket weeks before the end by defeating Qatar 2-1, created great excitement in the country. This means that Uzbekistan participated in the World Cup for the first time in its history. Yes, you heard right. They participated for the first time. To be honest, this information surprised me too. This summer they will face Portugal and Colombia in Group K. Now let's go a little further into Asia and look at South Korea. This table perhaps best illustrates how consistent South Korea's structure is. Despite playing so many matches throughout the qualifying process, they didn't suffer a single defeat. In the second round, they were in the same group as China, Thailand, and Singapore, where they progressed with 5 wins and 1 draw. In the third round, in Group B, they had 6 wins and 4 draws in 10 matches and finished the group as leaders with 22 points. South Korea, who conceded only 7 goals, earned the most praise for their defensive discipline. Led by Captain Hyun Min-sun, this success enabled the country to participate in the World Cup for the 11th time in a row. This summer they will face Mexico, the host nation of the World Cup, in Group A. Now, a quick explanation. You know this is our livelihood, and the more support you give us, the better content we can produce. So I would be very happy if you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you. Let's continue. Jordan perhaps has the least hopeful story in this table. They had never qualified for the World Cup in their history. In the second round, they drew and lost their first 2 matches, scaring their fans into thinking it wouldn't happen again. But then they won all 4 of their next 4 matches, awakening the giant within them and advancing to the third round as group leaders. In the third round in Group B, they had 4 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses in 10 matches, finishing second in the group behind South Korea with 16 points. Jordan took a crucial step with Ali Olba's hat-trick in their away match against Oman, mathematically securing their qualification with 1 week remaining. This summer they are in Group J and will face Argentina, the reigning world champions, who have a player like Messi. Now let's move on to Australia, because Australia is directly relevant to us this summer. Because Australia, which is in Group D of the World Cup, has the United States among its opponents. Australia, also known as the Socceroos, has had a dramatic journey. In the second round, they were in the same group as Palestine, Lebanon, and Bangladesh and easily advanced by winning all 6 of their matches. In the third round, they were drawn into Group C and faced Japan, China, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Indonesia. After losing to Bahrain in the first 2 matches and drawing 0-0 with Indonesia, they parted ways with manager Graham Arnold due to these events. Tony Popovic, who replaced him, virtually reborn the team. They drew 1-1 away against the feared team Japan and beat China 3-1 at home. The most critical moment came on June 5, 2025. Australia showed its true character by beating Japan 1-0, even defeating a team considered invincible. In the last week, they secured their direct qualification by winning 2-1 away against Saudi Arabia. 5 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss in 10 matches. 19 points, second in the group. These are their statistics. This summer they will face Paraguay at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, and then Turkey at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And yes, the United States is also in this group. Let's see if we will easily qualify from this group or not. What are your thoughts? Now let's move on to Qatar, the host of the 2022 World Cup. Qatar clearly felt that money doesn't work everywhere this time and had to face the necessity of being selected. Finishing behind Iran and Uzbekistan in the third round, Qatar dropped to the fourth round. In the fourth round, they were in the same group as the United Arab Emirates and Oman, and they finished first with 4 points in the matches played in Qatar. This summer they will face Canada and Switzerland in Group B. Let's look at another wealthy country, Saudi Arabia. They followed a similar path. Finishing third in their group in the third round, Saudi Arabia had to advance to the fourth round. In the fourth round, they were drawn into the same group as Iraq and Indonesia, but their success in this group officially secured their ticket in October 2025. This summer they will face Spain and Uruguay in Group H. And finally, let's talk about Iraq, the unlucky child of the qualifiers. Iraq, participating in the World Cup for the first time since 1986, is perhaps the most surprising name in this table. Finishing third in their group in the third round, Iraq finished second behind Saudi Arabia in the fourth round. In the fifth round, they eliminated the United Arab Emirates and earned the right to participate in the continental playoff. There they faced Bolivia and secured their last ticket to the World Cup with a 2-1 victory. This summer they will face France and Norway in Group 1. Yes, you heard right, Iraq against France. Football sometimes does things like that. Now let's take a step back and look at the table. 2 of these 9 teams, Jordan and Uzbekistan, are making their World Cup debut. Iraq, after a 40-year absence, is making a difficult return to the stage. The Giants of Asia, Japan for the 8th consecutive time, and South Korea for the 11th time. And I think Asian football is becoming more mature, more organized, and more competitive with each passing period. And I think the teams that will surprise you the most in America this summer will come from this continent. My favorite team from Asia is Uzbekistan. Finally, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.